Tell me, what would you do if you knew winning the lottery was already your reality? I must tell you this, the life you desire is already within your reach, and the key to unlocking it lies within you. It's not something that is far off or distant, waiting to be achieved at some elusive future moment. It is within you right now, ready to unfold if you are willing to accept and embody the reality you wish to experience. The process begins with understanding one simple truth. Your imagination is not just a passive tool, but a creative power that shapes your external reality. What you imagine and feel to be true, you will experience in your world. When you seek to manifest a desire, whether it is wealth, success, love, or in this case, a lottery win, you must first understand that it is not about the physical action of buying a ticket or waiting for numbers to match. It's about aligning your inner world with the reality you wish to create. If you want to manifest the lottery win, you must first act as if you have already won. What does this mean? It means to stop waiting for the external world to change before you feel abundant, successful, or wealthy. Instead, you must begin to feel those things now. Feel the joy of having already won the lottery. Feel the excitement, the peace, the sense of freedom that comes with financial abundance. You do not wait for the lottery ticket to validate your worth or bring you that feeling. You create that feeling first, and as you do, you open the door for the outer world to align with that inner state of being. Imagine for a moment that you have just won the lottery. How would you feel? How would you respond to the world? Most likely, you would feel a deep sense of gratitude and excitement. You would feel liberated from the concerns of money, knowing that you have more than enough to do anything you desire. You would no longer be constrained by limitations or worry about what's possible. Your confidence would shift because you would know that your desires can now be met effortlessly. The key is to recognize that this feeling, this shift in confidence and abundance, is not something that will come once the lottery is in your hands. It is something that you must cultivate now. This is the power of imagination. By imagining yourself already in possession of what you desire, you are laying the groundwork for it to become your reality. It's not a question of whether you deserve it or if the universe is going to give it to you. It is already yours. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it is only a matter of time before it becomes manifest. This is how creation works. The only thing standing in the way is your belief that it isn't possible or that it is outside your control. But I tell you, it is within your control because the power lies within you to shape your reality. You see, the external world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state. Everything that you see around you, your environment, your relationships, your circumstances, has been shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. If you wish to change your external world, you must first change how you feel about it. In the case of manifesting a lottery win, this means feeling the excitement and joy of already having won. The feeling is the key. Your emotional state sends a signal to your subconscious mind that says, this is already true. When you feel the emotions of your desire fulfilled, you begin to create an inner reality that aligns with that outer manifestation. Now, let's explore what this means in practical terms. When you act as if you've already won the lottery, you do not wait for the money to come before you feel free and abundant. You begin to make decisions from a place of abundance, not lack. For example, you might find yourself considering ways to spend your newfound wealth, how you would travel, what experiences you would have, who you would help. You don't wait for the actual money to show up. You begin to plan as if it is already here, and in doing so, you create a path for it to flow into your life. Every action you take from that feeling of already having it creates momentum in your life. When you make choices that reflect the abundance you feel, you begin to send out a clear signal to the universe that you are in alignment with your desire. You stop worrying about where the money will come from or how it will manifest, because you already know that it is on its way. You trust that your imagination and feelings are powerful enough to bring it into being. As you continue to live in this state of assumption, something incredible happens. The outer world begins to reflect this new internal state. Opportunities arise, synchronicities appear. Doors that were once closed begin to open. This is not by accident. This is the law of attraction at work. By acting as if you've already won, you are energetically aligning with the success and abundance you seek, and the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. But this is not just about the lottery. It is about any desire you wish to manifest. Whether it is love, career success, health, or financial freedom, the same principle applies. You must act as if it is already true. You must feel the emotions of your desire already fulfilled. This is the magic of imagination. It has the power to shape your reality because it is the tool through which you connect with the source of all creation. Remember, you are not waiting for the world to give you permission to be abundant. You are not waiting for external circumstances to validate your worth. You are already worthy, already deserving, and already abundant. The only thing that has been standing in your way is your own belief that it is not possible. But I assure you, it is possible. It is already done. In the mind, in the heart, in the soul. Now all that is left is for you to live as though it is true. When you understand this, when you begin to live as if you have already won, everything in your life will begin to change. The life you have imagined, the wealth you have desired, the success you have dreamed of, it is already yours. The universe is simply waiting for you to claim it. And when you act as if you've already won, you will open the door for your greatest desires to manifest in your life. When you begin to live with the assumption of your victory, you are unlocking a powerful force within you. This assumption is not just a mental exercise or a fleeting thought. It is a deep, unwavering belief that the world you desire already exists and is now unfolding before you. The assumption that you have already won, that your dream is already realized, is the most potent creative force you possess. To understand this, you must first recognize that your external world is simply a reflection of your inner world. Everything you see, hear, and experience is a result of your inner state, your beliefs, and the feelings you cultivate. Living with the assumption of victory means stepping into the belief that what you desire is already yours. It's not about waiting for the right moment, the right circumstances, or the right timing. You are already living in the outcome you wish to achieve. This assumption creates a shift in your consciousness. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is striving for something, someone who is waiting for a change to happen. Instead, you begin to see yourself as already having achieved your goal. This shift in perception is the foundation of manifestation. It is a knowing that you are no longer reaching for something, but instead you are standing in the fullness of your desire. The moment you assume that you have already won, you stop focusing on the lack of what you desire and start embodying the state of fulfillment. You begin to feel what it would be like to already be in possession of that victory. If you were to win the lottery today, how would you feel? You would feel a sense of freedom, joy, and gratitude. You would feel relief from the burdens of worry and lack. These feelings are not for the future, they are for now. The key is to realize that in order to manifest your desires, you must feel these emotions in the present moment, as if they are already part of your experience. It is the feeling that drives the manifestation. When you live with the assumption of victory, your actions change as well. You no longer act out of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. Instead, you act from a place of confidence and assurance. If you have already won, you will begin to make decisions with the mindset of abundance. You will take bold steps toward your desires, knowing that the outcome is already secured. You will begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and you will find creative ways to expand and grow, all while maintaining the inner knowing that you are already victorious. This assumption also requires you to release the need to control every detail of the manifestation process. Many people struggle with the idea of how their desires will come to them. They worry about the logistics, the steps, the timing, and the circumstances. But when you live with the assumption of your victory, you trust that the universe will handle the how. You no longer need to worry about the process because you already know the outcome is guaranteed. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you align yourself with the flow of the universe. And the universe begins to bring to you the people, situations, and opportunities that align with your assumption. Living with the assumption of victory also means embracing a state of gratitude. You no longer wait to feel grateful for your success once it appears in your life. Instead, you begin to express gratitude now in the present moment. You feel thankful for the abundance that is already yours, and in doing so, you increase your vibrational frequency. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions you can cultivate because it opens the door to more blessings. When you are thankful for what you already have, you are signaling to the universe that you are open to receiving more. The more you live in gratitude, the more the universe delivers to you. As you continue to live in the assumption that you have already won, you begin to notice subtle changes in your outer world. Opportunities begin to present themselves that align with your desired outcome. People and circumstances begin to show up that support your vision. This is the magic of living with the assumption of victory. The more you embody the feeling of having already achieved your goal, the more your reality begins to shift to reflect that assumption. It is a natural law that the inner world dictates the outer world. As your thoughts and feelings align with the assumption that you have already won, your external reality must follow suit. It is important to remember that the assumption of victory is not a temporary state or something you do only when you feel like it. It must become a way of life. The assumption must be sustained even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. It is easy to be influenced by the physical world and to believe that because things aren't going as planned, your desires aren't coming to fruition. But remember, the external world is simply a reflection of your inner beliefs. If you continue to hold the assumption of your victory, no matter what you see around you, the world will eventually align with your inner state. The power of assumption is that it allows you to bypass the doubts and fears that often arise in the face of uncertainty. Instead of being swayed by the current circumstances, you hold steadfast to your inner knowing. You live as if your desire is already fulfilled. You trust that the universe is already at work to bring your desires to you and that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. The more you live in this assumption, the more real it becomes. Your confidence grows. Your actions become more aligned with your desires, and your world begins to reflect your inner state of victory. When you live with the assumption of victory, you are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are an active creator, shaping your reality with every thought, feeling, and action. Your belief in your success becomes unshakable, and your reality starts to conform to that belief. You no longer need to look for signs or wait for confirmation from the outside world. You know without a doubt that your victory is assured. You are living as if it has already happened, and in doing so, you are bringing it into being. As you continue to live with the assumption of victory, you will come to understand the true power of your thoughts and feelings. You will see that your reality is not something that happens to you. It is something that you create. By living with the assumption of success, you are stepping into the full realization of your potential. You are aligning yourself with the infinite power that exists within you, and you are creating a life that is in harmony with your deepest desires. The law of assumption is often misunderstood, yet it is one of the most profound and transformative laws of the universe. It is not just a philosophical concept or a motivational idea, but a principle that governs the very fabric of our reality. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, whether it is a fact or a possibility, becomes your reality. The key here is the word assume. It is not about wishing, hoping, or waiting for something to happen. It is about embodying the feeling and belief that it has already happened. When you assume something as true, you align yourself with that truth on every level, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. Now, many people find it difficult to accept that they can create their reality simply by assuming something to be true. They are often trapped in the limiting belief that external circumstances or physical evidence must dictate what is possible for them. However, this is not the way the world works. The physical world is merely a reflection of our inner beliefs and assumptions. What you see in the outside world is only the materialization of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that have been held long enough to manifest in physical form. When you change your assumptions, you change your reality. Imagine for a moment that you have already achieved everything you desire. Picture yourself living in the fullness of your desires, whether that is financial freedom, a loving relationship, or health and vitality. What does that feel like? How do you carry yourself? How do you think and act? The power of the law of assumption lies in your ability to tap into that feeling now, in the present moment. You do not wait for the circumstances to align with your desire. You align your inner world with the feeling of your wish already fulfilled. And as you do, the outer world begins to reflect that alignment. This law works because of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you feed it as truth. When you assume something, you impress it upon your subconscious mind, and the subconscious begins to organize your thoughts, feelings, and actions in a way that is congruent with that assumption. If you assume that you have already won the lottery, for example, your subconscious mind will begin to act as though that assumption is true. You will begin to think, feel, and behave as if you have already achieved that success. You will start making decisions, taking actions, and even speaking in ways that reflect this new assumption of abundance and success. One of the most powerful aspects of the law of assumption is that it is not based on external circumstances or the current reality. It does not matter if you have no money in the bank, if you are stuck in a job you don't love, or if your relationships are strained. The law of assumption transcends all of that. It is about what you are assuming to be true now. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions. The moment you shift your inner world, the outer world will begin to shift in response. The key is to hold on to your assumption, no matter what the external circumstances may suggest. This process is not about wishful thinking or daydreaming. It is about taking full responsibility for your life and your reality. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your experience. When you assume that you are already successful, already abundant, or already loved, you are stepping into your creative power. You are no longer waiting for someone or something to change in order for you to feel good or successful. You are choosing to feel good, to feel successful. Regardless of what is happening around you, one important aspect of the law of assumption is consistency. You must consistently hold the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. It is not enough to assume something once or twice and then forget about it. The subconscious mind operates through repetition. It is only through repeated assumptions and sustained belief that your desires will manifest. Every thought you think, every feeling you feel, and every action you take should align with your assumption. The more you live as though your desire has already manifested, the more natural it becomes, and the quicker the outer world begins to reflect that assumption. Let's take a moment to reflect on the nature of beliefs. Many people hold limiting beliefs that shape their experience. These beliefs often come from past experiences, societal conditioning, or the opinions of others. But beliefs are not facts. They are simply thoughts that we have repeated so many times that they feel like the truth. If you have ever believed that money is hard to come by, or that you are not worthy of love, these beliefs have been formed over time through repetition. The same is true for positive beliefs. If you believe that success is inevitable for you, or that love is always flowing to you, these beliefs will shape your reality in the same way. The law of assumption works by replacing old limiting beliefs with new empowering ones. It is essential to understand that the law of assumption works whether you are consciously aware of it or not. Every time you assume something, Whether it's an empowering belief or a limiting one, you are shaping your reality. If you constantly assume that things will never work out for you, that is exactly what you will experience. On the other hand, if you assume that everything you desire is already yours, you will begin to see your reality transform in miraculous ways. The law of assumption is always working. It is just a matter of what you are choosing to assume. The beauty of this law is that you do not have to wait for the world to change first. You can change your assumptions and the world will follow. You do not need to see the evidence in front of you before you believe in the possibility of your desires. The moment you assume your desire as already fulfilled, you begin to create the circumstances that will bring it to you. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions all align to bring about that assumption in physical form. You become a magnet for your desires, drawing them into your life with your belief and your assumption. By understanding the power of assumption, you begin to realize that you are not at the mercy of the world around you. You are the creator of your experience, and your assumptions are the key to unlocking the life you desire. The law of assumption is not about waiting for the world to change. It is about changing your assumptions and watching the world change in response. It is about stepping into the creative power that lies within you and using it to shape your reality in a way that reflects your true desires. As you begin to live with this understanding, you will find that your life becomes a reflection of your highest assumptions, and everything you desire is drawn to you with ease. To truly understand the power of the assumption, one must embrace the concept of living in the end. This means that instead of waiting for external circumstances to change or for something to happen in the future, you must embody the feeling and state of already having what you desire. Living in the end is about stepping into the consciousness of your wish already being fulfilled and aligning your entire being, your thoughts, feelings, and actions with that assumption. It is not about trying to figure out how it will happen or when it will happen. The key is to live as if it has already happened, and in doing so, you will draw it into your life. Living in the end is not simply a mental exercise, it is a way of life. It requires you to shift your focus away from what you do not have and toward what you already possess in consciousness. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting back the state of your inner being. If you are constantly focused on what you lack or what you are waiting for, you are reinforcing the belief that you are incomplete. However, when you live in the end, you begin to embody the state of already having everything you need. You stop waiting for things to change and start acting as though they have already changed. You begin to feel the emotions of success, abundance, love, and peace right now, not as something to come in the future, but as something that already exists in the present moment. This practice of living in the end is not always easy, especially when external circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. It can be challenging to believe in something that you cannot yet see with your physical eyes. However, it is important to remember that the outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. What you see outside of you is simply a manifestation of the beliefs and assumptions you hold inside. If you want to change your outer reality, you must first change your internal state. The assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, that you are already living in the end, is the first step in this process. The way to begin living in the end is to create a mental image of what you desire and then immerse yourself in the feeling of already having it. This image should not be distant or vague. It should be specific, clear, and vivid. You must fully engage with this image in your mind, allowing yourself to feel the emotions associated with it. If you desire financial freedom, for example, picture yourself already living that reality. See yourself waking up in the morning without the stress of bills, enjoying the freedom to travel or pursue your passions. Feel the sense of peace and security that comes with financial independence. The key is to not just visualize this future outcome, but to feel as though it is already your present reality. Once you have created this image, you must embody it fully. This means that you begin to live in alignment with the feelings and actions of someone who already has what they desire. You act as though you are already that person. and you begin to make decisions, take actions, and speak in ways that reflect this assumption. For instance, if you are living in the end of financial abundance, you may begin to make decisions from a place of confidence and abundance rather than fear or lack. You might start to invest in opportunities that align with your vision, or you may choose to spend money in a way that reflects your abundance, even if your current bank balance does not yet match your assumption. Living in the end requires that you trust in the power of your assumption and act as though it is already a reality. The most important aspect of living in the end is to not let your current circumstances dictate your state of being. The world will always mirror your internal state, so it is crucial to remain steadfast in your assumption, regardless of what is happening around you. If you continue to look at the external world for validation of your desires, you are reinforcing the belief that your desires are outside of your control. Instead, you must trust that your internal world is the true source of creation, and that by living in the end, you are causing the external world to conform to your assumptions. Living in the end is also about embracing the idea that time is not linear. In the world of the assumption, there is no past or future, only the present moment. When you live in the end, you are not waiting for a future event to occur. You are experiencing that event right now, in the present moment. Your thoughts and feelings are not bound by the constraints of time. This is why the power of the assumption is so effective. The moment you assume something to be true, you are living in the state of that truth, and that state begins to shape your reality. Time is irrelevant in this process because you are not waiting for something to happen. You are already experiencing it as if it has already happened. One of the key benefits of living in the end is that it allows you to bypass the limiting beliefs and doubts that often arise when you focus on the process of achieving your desires. Many people get caught up in the how of manifestation, wondering what steps they need to take or when they will see results. Living in the end frees you from this mental trap. You do not need to know how or when it will happen. All you need to do is trust in the assumption that it has already happened, and align yourself with that assumption in every way. When you live in the end, you stop identifying with the struggle, the lack, or the waiting game. You become the person who already has what they desire. You begin to act, think, and feel as though you are already that person. And as you continue to do this, the external world must eventually reflect that new state of being. The people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your assumed reality will begin to appear, and your desires will unfold before you as though they were always meant to be. Living in the end requires a deep level of trust in the process and in the power of your assumptions. It may not always be easy, especially when external circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. However, the more you practice living in the end, the more natural it becomes, and the more quickly your desires begin to materialize. The world is waiting for you to align with your assumption, and when you do, you will see that everything you desire is already on its way to you. The power of assumption operates on the principle of embodying your desires before they manifest in physical form. It is the understanding that everything you experience in your life, both the good and the bad, has been created by your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. We must recognize that the outer world is merely a reflection of our inner world. When we change our internal state, the external world follows suit. This is why it is crucial to assume the feeling of already having what we desire. The moment you fully embrace the assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, your reality begins to shift in ways that align with your assumption. At the heart of this practice is the realization that you are not waiting for external circumstances to change in order for you to feel good or fulfilled. Instead, you must change the way you feel now. You must assume that what you desire is already yours and align yourself with that truth. When you embody the feeling of already having your desire, you are shifting your consciousness and your energy to match the vibration of that reality. The law of assumption works through your ability to hold on to this new state of being, regardless of the physical evidence around you. A key point to understand is that the subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you impress upon it as truth. This is why it is so important to assume the feeling of already having what you desire. The subconscious mind will then begin to align all your thoughts, actions, and emotions with that assumption. This is how your desires are brought into physical reality. It is not about waiting for the world to change first. It is about changing your perception and your internal state, and then watching the external world reflect that change. One of the most powerful aspects of the assumption is that it transcends time. The assumption that your desire is already fulfilled is not bound by time. In the world of assumption, time is not linear. You are not waiting for something to happen in the future. You are living as though it is already a present reality. The key to understanding this is to recognize that the present moment is the only reality. The past is gone and the future has not yet arrived. The only moment that matters is now. When you live in the end, you are living as though your desire has already manifested in the present moment. And this shifts the energy of your entire being. Living in the assumption that you have already achieved your goal requires a shift in how you perceive yourself. Most people identify with their current circumstances and base their sense of self-worth on their present reality. However, in order to manifest your desires, you must stop identifying with the current conditions and instead identify with the person who already has what you desire. This is where the concept of living in the end comes into play. It is not about waiting for something to happen before you feel happy or successful. It is about assuming the feeling of already being happy, already being successful, already being abundant, regardless of what is happening in your outer world. The practice of assumption is also about persistence. It is not enough to assume something once or twice and then wait for results. You must continue to live in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, no matter what the external world may show you. This requires a deep level of trust in the process. If you give up too soon or allow doubt to creep in, you are sending mixed signals to your subconscious mind. The key to success with the law of assumption is consistency. You must hold your assumption, feel the emotions of your desire already being fulfilled, and act as though it is already so. In doing so, you begin to align every aspect of your being with the vibration of your desire. Another important aspect of this practice is detachment. Many people become anxious or desperate when they do not see immediate results. They may feel that their desire is not manifesting quickly enough, and this feeling of lack only serves to delay the process. Detachment means that you do not allow your outer circumstances to determine your state of being. You must continue to live in the end, feeling the emotions of your desire being fulfilled, even if you do not see immediate evidence of it in the physical world. Detachment is about trusting that your assumption is already a reality, even if it has not yet materialized in the physical realm. The process of assumption is also deeply personal. Each person has their own desires and their own unique path to fulfillment. The law of assumption does not require you to follow anyone else's blueprint or timeline. It is about trusting in your own intuition and following your own inner guidance. It is about recognizing that you have the power within you to create the life you desire, regardless of what others may say or think. The more you embrace your own inner power and trust in the process, the more easily your desires will unfold. When you practice the law of assumption, you must also be willing to let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Many people are held back by limiting beliefs, such as the idea that they are not deserving of success or that they must work hard to achieve their goals. These beliefs are rooted in the past and are not reflective of your true potential. The law of assumption invites you to let go of these old stories and step into the reality of already having what you desire. As you do this, you begin to align with the energy of abundance, success, and fulfillment. It is also important to recognize that the law of assumption works for both big and small desires. Whether you are manifesting a new relationship, financial abundance, or improved health, the process is the same. The key is to assume the feeling of already having it and to persist in that assumption. The more you live in the feeling of your wish already fulfilled, the quicker it will manifest in the physical world. You do not need to worry about the how or the when. Your job is simply to align with the feeling of already having what you desire, and the universe will take care of the rest. Ultimately, the power of assumption is about recognizing that you are the creator of your own reality. You are not at the mercy of external circumstances. You have the ability to shape your world through your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. By living in the end and assuming the feeling of already having what you desire, you tap into this creative power and begin to see your desires manifest in ways that are beyond your imagination. The law of assumption is a tool that allows you to take full responsibility for your life and to create the reality you want to experience. When you begin to realize the power of your own assumptions, it becomes clear that the very foundation of your life, everything you experience, is built upon your inner beliefs. What you see around you is simply the manifestation of your internal state, your assumptions, and your convictions. The world you experience is a reflection of what you hold true within. This is why it is so essential to examine the nature of your assumptions and how they shape your life. If you can change your assumptions, you can change your entire reality. Every person, whether they realize it or not, is constantly assuming something. The assumptions you hold about yourself, about others, and about the world around you shape every aspect of your life. These assumptions create your experiences, determine your relationships, and influence the opportunities that come your way. When you recognize the profound impact your assumptions have on your life, it becomes clear that by deliberately assuming the feeling of already having what you desire, you can create a new world, one that is aligned with your highest aspirations. The key to understanding this concept is to realize that you are not merely observing life, you are actively creating it. The assumption of the wish fulfilled is not a passive act, nor is it something that happens outside of you. It is a conscious choice that you make in the present moment, a decision to live as though your desire has already been realized. You are choosing to embody the feeling of already being the person you wish to become, to assume that your desires have already been manifested, and to live in alignment with that assumption. It is the act of living as though you have already achieved your goal, even if the outer world has not yet caught up. Living in this assumption is not about waiting for your circumstances to change. It is about changing your internal state, your perception of reality, and your belief in what is possible. When you live in the end, you stop looking for validation from the outside world. You stop waiting for external conditions to confirm that your desires are coming true. Instead, you live in the belief that your desire has already been fulfilled, and from this state of knowing, you begin to act in ways that reflect this truth. You become the person who already has what they desire, and in doing so, you draw that reality toward you. This practice requires a deep level of trust in yourself and the process. The challenge comes when you begin to doubt or question your assumptions, when you allow external circumstances to determine your internal state. If you continue to focus on what is not yet manifested, you are reinforcing the belief that your desires are not yet a reality. The key is to maintain the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, regardless of what the external world may show you. You must trust that the inner shift you have made will eventually be reflected in your outer world. One of the most powerful aspects of this process is that it requires you to step into a new identity. You must begin to see yourself as already being the person who has what they desire. If you want to manifest financial abundance, you must begin to see yourself as someone who is financially abundant. If you want to manifest a loving relationship, you must begin to see yourself as someone who is already loved and desired. It is not about waiting for the outside world to tell you that you are worthy of your desires. It is about claiming your worthiness in the present moment and living from that place of knowing. As you begin to live in the assumption of the wish fulfilled, you will start to notice subtle changes in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You will begin to think differently, to feel more confident and self-assured, and to take actions that are in alignment with your new state of being. These changes will gradually create a shift in your reality as the world around you starts to conform to your new beliefs. It is important to remember that this process takes time and that the key is to remain consistent in your assumption, even when things do not immediately appear to be changing. This is where many people falter. They may begin to assume the feeling of their wish fulfilled, but when they do not see immediate results, they begin to doubt and question the process. They fall back into the habit of looking for evidence in the external world to confirm their assumption. But this is the exact opposite of what you need to do. The law of assumption works through your ability to persist in your belief, even when the outer world appears to contradict it. The more you hold on to your assumption, the more quickly your reality will begin to shift. Another key element of this practice is to become aware of any negative or limiting beliefs that may be undermining your assumption. Often, the reason your desires are not manifesting is because you are holding on to subconscious beliefs that contradict your assumptions. These beliefs may be deeply ingrained, but they can be changed. It is important to identify these limiting beliefs and replace them with new, empowering assumptions that are in alignment with your desires. For example, if you have been assuming that money is hard to come by, you can replace that assumption with the belief that money flows easily and effortlessly into your life. By consistently choosing to believe in your new assumptions, you will gradually overwrite the old beliefs and create a new reality. Living in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled is also a practice of gratitude. When you assume that your desire has already manifested, you begin to feel immense gratitude for everything that is already in your life. Gratitude is a powerful force that attracts more of what you want into your life. When you live in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you naturally feel thankful for the abundance and success that is already on its way to you. This feeling of gratitude reinforces your assumption and accelerates the manifestation process. Ultimately, the law of assumption is about understanding that you are the creator of your own reality. The world around you is not a random collection of events and circumstances. It is a direct reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions. By consciously assuming the feeling of your desires already being fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy of those desires and begin to draw them into your experience. The more you practice this law, the more you will begin to see your world transform. You will no longer be a passive observer of life, but an active creator of your own reality. And as you continue to live in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you will witness the power of your own beliefs shape the world around you. In conclusion, the law of assumption reveals a profound truth. You are the creator of your reality. The world you experience is a direct reflection of your internal state, shaped by your beliefs, assumptions, and convictions. By living in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you tap into the power within you to transform your life. This practice is not about waiting for external conditions to change, but about shifting your internal perception to align with the reality you wish to create. To manifest your desires, you must assume the feeling of already having them. This is not a passive act, but a conscious decision to embody your desired reality in the present moment. When you do so, the world around you begins to mirror your new beliefs, and your desires start to manifest in ways that may seem magical, yet are deeply rooted in the power of your assumption. Persistence is key. It is not enough to assume something once and give up. You must remain steadfast in your assumption, even when external circumstances seem contrary. The more you persist in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the more quickly your reality will begin to shift. Trust in the process and in your own power to create the life you desire. Living in the end, embodying your desired reality, requires a shift in identity. It is about seeing yourself as already being the person who has what they desire and acting from that place of certainty. As you do so, your thoughts, feelings, and actions align with your new reality, and the world around you follows suit. The key is to maintain this assumption, persist in it, and trust that the external world will eventually reflect your inner shift. Ultimately, the law of assumption is a tool that empowers you to take control of your life and create the experiences you want to have. By changing your assumptions and beliefs, you can transform every aspect of your life, manifesting your deepest desires and living the life you've always dreamed of. The power to change your world lies within you, and by living in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you unlock that power and step into a reality of endless possibility.